Uh, Hello everybody, and this is again Alexander Semenenko from Voronezh. This is our last video dedicated to the first two volumes of my ebook Rigvedic Papers, which in its turn is dedicated to the problem of Ashva and Hari in Rigveda. And today I will speak about the last two chapters of the second volume. That is the fifth and the sixth chapters of the book. Each deals with one of the animals described in Rigveda as being a chariot animal and as being called Ashva. That is very important. So we have already seen that Rigvedic Ashva is not exclusively horse or some equid. We don't know what either a horse or an equid such as K.i.н or K.i.н, but also a horned deer from the first chapter, a goat from the third chapter, and some bird, most often hyena, that is eagle or hawk, from the fourth chapter. So the fifth chapter deals with the spotty or spotted Ashvas of Marut's chariots in Rigveda and their Indo-European parallels. Those who deal with Rigveda know very well that Maruts have not only Ashvas but also Prishad Ashvas, that is spotty Ashvas, in their chariots, yoked into their chariots. What animal can be spotty and at the same time swift? It is not only a horse, but also a deer, a spotted deer. When we read the descriptions of these Prishadashvas in Rigveda, drawing Marut's chariots, we sometimes see that they are described as antelopes, etanam. For example, here in the first mandala, etanam ayasam, that is untiring antelopes, spotty antelopes. The literal translation of this word is etas is spotty also. So this is the specification, the specific feature of the animal. And it is a general place in Rigveda interpretation that Maruts in Rigveda yoke spotty animals, some kind of antelopes, into their chariots. But we can find these descriptions in the first mandala, in the second mandala, in the third mandala, in the seventh mandala, Prishadashvaso. What else do we learn from Rigveda? We also learn that Maruts yoke these Prishatya or spotty animals into the chariots. For example, in the first mandala, again in the first mandala, in the first mandala, in the third mandala, in the fifth mandala, in the fifth mandala. All these cases are enumerated and cited and quoted together alongside with the original and translation in my book in this chapter. Again, fifth mandala, sixth mandala, eighth mandala. When I tried to find an Indian antelope to be a spotty one, I couldn't find any. But what I found very quickly was a very common deer of the South Asia. It is chital deer or spotty deer. Its Latin classification name is Axis axis, and the males of this deer have horns, while females don't have them, but both of them are very spotty, and they are very swift, so it's they are probably the best candidate to the prototype of the Rigvedic Prishad Ashva, or the spotty Ashva drawing the chariot of Marut. Now I would like to compare this information of Rigveda dealing with this spotty deer yoked into the chariots of Marut with the information from the other Indo-European traditions. I have found one tradition which definitely demonstrates us a spotty deer with horns or without horns, horned or not, as being the chariot animal of the god's chariots. So I again draw your attention to the illustration, to the illustrative part after the chapter. And this is one of the beautiful pictures from Kanha National Park of Central India. This is the male chital. You see here very clearly the spots, white spots on his skin, on his body, throughout, all over it. And we see horns here also. One more picture of chital deer. Here we see a flock of them, and this is again a male of a spotty deer, chital. Nagarholi National Park, Karnataka, southern India. Again, spots and horns, and some females can be seen behind him. Two battling, two opposing males of chital deer, Kanha National Park, Central India, again spots and horns. More chitals from Kanha National Park, male and two females, very clear picture of spots. And more, this is a female animal, female chital from Kanha National Park. So we see there are many photos which can help us to identify this animal with the Rigvedic Prishadashva of Maruts. One more, and here we see it running, spotty female of chital, axis. And now we turn to the ancient Greek vase painting tradition. The first red figure vase I was able to find is from Athens, and it dates to the 5th century BCE. Here we see a team of two hornless spotted deer drawing the true chariot of a goddess. We see here a railing, a handle, railing. We see here the spoked wheel, so everything is very clear. This is probably the better picture, the closer picture of the same. And one more. Next is the red figure vase from Athens, also dated to 450 to 440 BCE. And here we see again a chariot drawn by two hornless deer, but they are spotty. The closer picture of the same, the chariot with a handle, some system of railing, goddess staying on it, and more. the detail, and very large image, very clear, no horns, but a lot of spots all over. We had to stop, sorry, because my neighbors are making some maintenance in their flat above, just above our room, and they are very noisy as usual. So I will continue from that illustration. We see very clear picture of there will probably be some stops, interruptions in our presentation because of my noisy neighbors, and we will have to stop for that. But still I will continue from the place where I will stop. So this is the next picture of the same vase from Athens, dated to 450-440 BCE, and we see very clear picture of two hornless deer covered with many numerous spots. Next we have a red figure vessel from Athens, and it is dated to the same time, 450 to 400 BC, and here we see a spotty horned and spotty deer, male, drawing a divine creature, probably a rod. In Rig Veda, Maruts not only drive the chariots drawn by Prashad Ashvas, but also they ride them. So this is the parallel to Rig Veda text also. They used as driving, both as driving and as riding, as drawing the chariots and as for riding. This is one more red figure vessel from Athens. The same time again we have a spotty deer. It's very difficult to say about his horns because this place is absent of the vessel. But we see clearly the spots all over its body, and again a divine figure, winged creature. It is one of the Greek gods. Next is again a chariot drawn by the team of spotty deer without horns, hornless. It is a red figure vase from Athens, dated to the same very time, 450 to 400 BCE. True chariot, a very clear picture. Then we have a detail of the vase, the same vase, yes, very clear to watch the numerous spots all over the animals' bodies. Then we have one more picture of a divine figure, winged creature, riding a spotty deer without horns. This is from Athens also, and it dates to 430 to 420 BCE. Male, but without horns, hornless. A clearer picture of the same. Then we have a red figure vessel from Museo Archeologico Regionale Antonio Salinas, Palermo, Sicily. That is Sicily Island, Palermo City, Regional Archaeological Museum of Antonio Salinas, and the vessel is dated to 420 BCE. And here we see a pair of spotty deer used for riding by a divine creature, winged creature. The same picture, different aspect, and the same colored picture. You see here spots all over the bodies of two hornless deer. Next is a red figure vase from Athens, dated to 425 to 375 BCE. Again, a spotty deer used for riding. Next is a fragment of a red figure vessel from Orvieto, Italy. It comes from Athens also, dated to the 4th century BCE. Again, a sporty deer used for riding. Next, again, a bowl from a red figure bowl from Athens, dated to the same 4th century BCE. Again, a sporty deer used for riding. Next, we have a drawing. I have already demonstrated it to you while presenting the first chapter. Here we have a red figure vase from Hermitage. It comes from South Italy. Pizzati collection. It was found in Armento. It's dated to 350 to 325 BCE. And here we see a mythological scene, and the central part of this scene is two horned sporty deer drawing a chariot of two divine personages. This is the same picture, but the photo of it. And one more, a closer view, a closer look. Very, very numerous spots and rows. And the same. And now we come to a red figure bowl dated to 375 to 350 aus der Sammlung Preuß, heute in der antiken Sammlung Würzburg. That means from the collection of Preuß, today in Würzburg, the collection of antiquities. We have here a sporty deer, hornless sporty deer used for riding. Again, some divine personages are depicted here. Next, we have a red figure vase from southern Italy, dated to 360 to 350 BCE. We see again a sporty deer used for riding, as a riding animal. And one more from the same place, from the southern Italy, Puglia, 340 to 330 BCE. A bowl, a cup used for, and we see here a sporty deer used for riding, and a divine creature. It is a male creature, so it is a rod probably. Next we have a red figure vase from the same Puglia, that is southern Italy, dated to 340 to 320 BCE, and here we see a team of two horned sporty deer drawing a chariot of a god probably. The same but a closer view. Next we have a red figure vase from K.i.н, Chariot, southern Etruria, Lazio, Italy, dated to 340 to 300 BCE, and here we have a team of four horned but sporty deer. At least two of them are evidently sporty, and they are drawing the chariot. Next is the same place, K.i.н, Chariot, southern Etruria, Lazio, Italy, and the same time, 340-300 BCE. And again we have a team of two horned and sporty deer drawing a chariot. Next is the vessel from a red figure vessel from Museo Archeologico Nacional, Madrid, Spain, National Archaeological Museum of Spain of Madrid. And here we see a very beautiful picture of two horned sporty deer drawing a true chariot of some divine personages. Next we have a red figure bowl from Puglia, southern Italy. Again a sporty deer used for riding a winged creature, divine creature, and we see clear several spots painted in black color on its body. Then we have one more red figure vase from Puglia, southern Italy. I have no dating, but probably 4th or around 400 BC, or between 400 and 300 BC. Here we see again a chariot, which is drawn by a pair of two spotty deer, of a winged creature, again divine chariot. So the picture coming from these illustrations seems very clear to me, and I hope to you. So we see that one more animal, that is chital animal, chital deer or axis, is the probable candidate to the prototype of the Marut's Prishad Ashva, that is the Spotty Ashva, Spotty swift creature, jumping swift creature. So we see that already for the fourth animal acts as being designated, as being called Ashva in Rig Veda, as being called doesn't it disturb now? Has been called Ashva in Rig Veda, that is horned deer, now spotty deer, not necessarily horned, then some kind of birds, such as eagles or hawks or other, then goats, they are all called deer, or they are all called Ashva in Rig Veda. What else do we have? And the last chapter deals with the bulls chariots of the gods, and not only gods in Rig Veda and their Indo-European parallels. What we know from Rig Veda is that Ashvin's Radha is yoked by humpback bulls. We know this, it can be one animal, from the fifth mandala, family mandala, the earliest layer of Rig Veda. Again, the fifth mandala, two references, and or more. That is probably two or more. The first mandala, the late mandala, and the fourth mandala, one of the ancient mandalas of Rig Veda. Then Rig Veda describes Radhas drawn by bulls of Ashva, Shimshumara, and Vrishabha. Are depicted as drawing as yukta, radho yukta, that is yoked into the chariot of Ashvins in the first mandala. Ushas has Brihad Radha, that is a great or very large Radha, Brihati, and